I spent my Christmas in Florida. It was a spontaneous trip to meet with an old friend. While I was there, I signed up for a random night dive with a local dive shop. Turns out we were about to go explore the Rainbow River.
And whenever you're ready, you can go for it. Woo! How was that? Yeah, nice.
As soon as I jumped in, I noticed the unique flora around me. It was unlike anything I have ever seen before. These tall grass called strap leaf sagittaria form a part of the diet for the local manatees as well as a habitat for the local fauna. Another highlight from these dives were the underwater springs. Although it looks like the water is boiling, this is just fresh water pumped up from underground reservoirs called aquifers. This happens because of the pressure difference between the underground caves and the river above and helps supply almost all of Florida's fresh water. There are thousands of such sites across Florida river channels that pump out over 10 billion gallons of fresh water every day. That is enough to fill up over 15,000 Olympic sized pools every single day. This maintains the temperature of the rivers to a constant 72 degrees Fahrenheit and helps the local wildlife like the manatees regulate their body temperature during the winter season. I also found this curious long-nosed garfish. This was my first time seeing one. They have been around for over 150 million years and still have vestigial lungs that lets them breathe outside water. You have to be careful with your lights while night diving. This fish clearly didn't see me behind the lights and bumped right into my camera. Sorry about that, buddy. The garfish are predators and often live a solitary life except when they congregate in the rivers to lay their eggs during the winter. And wouldn't you know, it is winter. Maybe I can come back during the daylight and try to spot a school of garfish. I know Sandy and Marty, my dive buddies, are diving here in the morning again. For now, I leave the garfish behind for my dive buddies to hang out with and move forward. I decided to stay back the night, which was a bit of a pain considering I didn't have a hotel reserved and home was 4 hours drive. It's nothing that sleeping in the Walmart's parking lot won't fix. Marty, one of the dive buddies I met here, was also kind enough to lend me a blanket for the night. And before you know it, it's morning already. I was exhausted from the cold night dive and the long drive, so the night in my car went by quickly. Believe it or not, it was one of the best sleep I've had in weeks. The morning dive was definitely worth the trouble. I mean, look at these meadows. The dive in the river is a drift dive. It means the river has a strong current that is going to carry me downstream and I will drift along with minimal effort, looking at whatever it is that I can find along the way. I've never dived through underwater vegetation quite like this before. It's quite amazing. As I drift along, I spot something up ahead. It's an anhinga, also called a darter bird. They have a very distinct hunting style. They hunt by impaling their prey underwater. I try to slowly drift closer without spooking it, with hopes of seeing it hunt up close. Nice. Never seen that from underwater before. And then the bird swims away and I continue with my dive. We are back at the springs again. This time we have some company. Sometimes when you dig through these springs and if you are lucky, you may find prehistoric fossils. Shark tooth are a common find. People have been known to find megalodon tooth as well. I wasn't so lucky this time. I have no idea what these fish are up to though. They look fascinated by the fossil hunt for some reason. It is too funny. Hey, no bullying underwater. I think it's time to say goodbye now. This was a memorable encounter with these fishlets, but the dive was coming to an end soon and I have yet to spot that school of garfish that I came to find. But I understand, it's nature and there are no guarantees. Alright, fishies, until next time. And just as I was giving up on hope, I happened upon a bunch of garfish. They spawn during late winter when both sexes congregate in weedy waters just like these to lay eggs in the shallow spring. I have to be very careful here with my buoyancy, with my breathing when I'm swimming so close to them. Slow, deliberate movements. They are very skittish, and any sudden movements will scare them away immediately. I take my time to let them be comfortable around me before moving in for a close up. I am centimeters away from them right now. I could touch them from this distance if I wanted to. This has been amazing, but it's been over an hour and it's now time to end the dive. As I swim back towards the boat, I spot Sandy checking out this large spring hole. There's a very strong current coming out of this cavern. I try to get in and see what it looks like from inside, but it is harder than it looks. The current is strong enough to blow you back. Swimming against this current is not enough, so I use my hands to grab onto some of the rocks and drag myself in. Following this path all the way to the end would lead to a channel of underwater caves. Check out Jonathan Bird's YouTube channel if you want to see what those caves look like. It is in my bucket list for the future as well. We have been diving for well over an hour by now. Time flies by when you're having so much fun, but it is time for us to return to the boat. All things considered, a night in the parking lot was a good trade-off to get to drift along the meadows of the Rainbow River.